Hello everyone, so it's good to see you all again. I'm Natasha and welcome back. So today we're going to, continue our fifth chapter, and it's complex numbers and quadratic equations. So in the previous video we discussed about the multiplication of complex numbers, and in this video we'll be discussing about the division of complex numbers. So all about the division. And the division of complex numbers. So we'll study about some few things in it. So let's see what they are. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna say this that so first of all, I'm gonna write the heading. So I don't think there's any need to write the headings. I'm just directly gonna write. It's our fourth operation that we'll be doing. So it's division of complex numbers. Okay, so in division, what we have is a different kind of thing from the other, from the other operations like the addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So it's kind of different from them. So let's see how is it different. So this division of complex numbers is, all about the division of complex numbers. So it's like the division of more than two complex numbers, or maybe like two complex numbers. We don't know, but let's say we have two complex numbers. Okay, z1. So I'm gonna write it this way. So if z1 is equal to a plus iota b, and z2 is equal to c plus iota d, then the quotient of, wait a second, let me write it in another way. It might be a little long, so I'm just directly gonna write the complex numbers and their values, so so that we will not waste our time in it. Okay, so that we'll be able to save our time, and let's write it. So z1 is equal to a plus iota b, and z2 is equal to c plus iota d. Okay, so this is like for sure our z1 is equal to a plus iota b, and z2 is equal to c plus iota d. And now, so what I'm gonna write here is okay, so like we have to find the quotient. So we'll be like doing this division of these two complex numbers. So how will we like dividing it? So let's have a look. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna write this like this way. So I'm gonna write it like this way. So then z1 divided by z2 is now we're gonna see that how we will divide it. Or maybe I should you can even write it like this way, but it's more better to write it in the form of the numerator denominator, in the form of fraction. So z1 by z2. Okay, z1 by z2. So I think that's more better to do. So let's just find it now. So as we're doing it, so it's z1 by z2. So what's our z1? It's a plus iota b upon what's our z2? Z plus iota d. Okay, so one thing that we can see is that we shouldn't be having an irrational denominator, right? And that's like all about and that's all these things are in rationalization. So we'll be like using rationalization here, and let's see that how we'll be able to find it. Okay, so what should I write? Okay, so on rationalization, wait a second, it's a little light, so I'm gonna write it again. On rationalization, Yeah, so in rationalization, like how we'll do it. So we have this z1 upon z2, which is equal to a plus iota b upon c plus iota d. So a plus iota b by c plus iota d. So how do we do that? So first of all, like on rationalization, we get to know that this, what's our denominator first of all? Z plus iota d, right? So, and after conjugating it, what we'll get? So we'll get c minus iota d, right? So we'll be like changing the sign between these two middle terms. So these are the real parts and the imaginary part given to us. So between them, the sign. So I'll be like changing that sign. So it's gonna be into c minus iota d upon c minus iota d. That's what we do in rationalization, right? Yeah. So c minus iota d by c minus iota d. So that was the first step of after in the rationalization. On the rationalization, then our next step is gonna be really easy. So after this step, let me write it from here, or yeah, okay, I'll write it from here. Okay, so what we have is this thing. So I'll be just writing this directly. So z1, what do we have? z1 upon z2. z1 upon z2 is equal to a plus iota b. Now I'm not going to write this c plus iota d as we have these both things. So what can I write in their place? C squared plus d squared, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter to this iota. So I'll be writing this c squared plus d squared, c squared plus d squared into, what is this? C minus iota d upon c squared plus d squared. Just have a look. Okay, so the next step is gonna be that this z1 upon z2 is equal to, okay, so on multiplying it, the denominators will stay same as it is. So it's it's c squared plus d squared. Okay, so I'm gonna write this again, c squared plus d squared, and here also. Okay. Let me write it again. Yeah. So this time it will be clear to you, and so no need to get confused. Okay, so what's your z1 and z2? Okay, so how about just removing them? So I'll just directly write it, this thing right here. So a plus iota b. So we're we've already wait a second. Yeah. Okay, so we have already, discussed about the multiplication of complex numbers. So we'll be using a little bit of complex, a little bit multiplication here. So a little bit of multiplication here. So let's see, what is it? A plus iota b into c minus iota d. So it's a plus iota b into c minus iota d, right? Okay, so it's this thing. Okay, so on multiplying it, what do we get? What do we do is first a with c, which is going to be, what is it going to be? AC, right? Yeah, AC, and then a with id. So id is iota d, and remember that I'm doing the multiplication of the real parts and the imaginary parts. So we will have to just keep it further. So we'll just move it. Somewhere else. Okay, not with the whole. Not with the solution. So what I'm trying to say is just really simple. We'll write this later. Okay, as it's having an iota, which means it's an imaginary part. Okay, so I can see this iota b and iota d because iota b and c will be will be in the same case. So iota b and iota d is going to be what? It's going to be minus b d, right? Yeah, and then this iota here, and in the bracket what will come? AD, and then what is it going to be? Okay, no need to get confused. It's going to be minus. Okay, minus BC. Is it really going to be minus? For sure, like, is it going to be minus? Oh, yeah, of course it's got to be minus, so no need to get confused. We can also write BC here and AD here, but that doesn't matter at all. So this is our, solution on multiplying it, so let's write it here. So what is it? AC minus BD by C squared plus D squared plus iota AD minus, how about writing BC first? Is it going to be right? Is it going to be right? Of course, doesn't matter. Order doesn't matter at all. So I, and in the bracket BC minus AD upon, or you can say by, C squared plus D squared. So all of these will be in bracket. So have a look. Is it clear? Oh yeah, and one thing that I forgot is I put it minus here. That's really what mainly that's what mainly the confusion is. So let's understand clearly. So first we did the relation with A and C, okay, and then this B with D, and the symbol. What was it between that? Minus, right? And here it was plus, and here it was minus. So maybe you'll be like thinking about it too much, but actually it's gonna be plus right here. It's gonna be actually plus. So right here too, it's gonna be also plus. So no need to get confused here. I'm gonna write this again because it looks a little messy. I can say this. Okay. So what I have is A plus iota B and C minus iota D. Okay. So as all of you know, this rationalization method, so what I use is just directly here. So the final solution, I get this thing. Okay? Yeah. So that was just a little bit of multiplication, and here we'll have our solution. So, and one thing I want to tell you related to this thing is, like whenever we're, finding any of these things, so we'll put bracket right here, everywhere. Bracket here, everywhere bracket, okay? Because, we have used bracket here, so we'll have to use it everywhere else, okay? That might be better, So all the brackets are there, and that's it. So that was, the division of complex numbers. And how about take an example? Should we take an example? Okay, then let's take an example. So it's going to be actually a really easy example. And so let me just write the question first. So it's not like an example, but I can say this is a question. Okay, so I can say this is a question, and let's solve it. Okay? Yeah, so let me read the question here, and then we'll continue. So I've just written the question, so I'm just going to see it from there, and I'm going to write the question. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so it's okay, so we have two complex numbers, Z1 and Z2. I'm going to just, write this example here. Or, no, there's a lot of space we have here, so no need to waste our time. Okay, so this is better? Okay, whatever. Yeah, so I'm going to change the marker because it's light. Okay. Yeah. Right, yeah, so question is that Z1 is equal to, okay, so what is it equal to? 6 plus 2 iota. 6 plus 2 iota. And z2 is equal to, what is it? 2 minus iota. Okay, then what do we have to find? Okay, then find z1 by z2. Okay, so this is a simple question here. Let z1 is equal to 6 plus 2 iota and z2 is equal to 2 minus iota. So we have to find z1 by z2, okay? Yeah, so this is actually the question. Yeah, so now let's solve it. So we're going to be we're going to solve this question 2 is just like this way on, on rationalization 2. So, on using rationalization, we can, easily find this. Okay, so what is it? First, z1. So we have to find z1 by z2. What's the value of z1? 6 plus 2 iota by z2 is 2 minus iota. Okay, so one thing in the denominator, what do we have? 2 minus iota, which is, and on conjugating it, what are we going to get? 2 plus iota. That's it. So I'm just going to write it. I'll be just writing it here. Or maybe, I should just, I'm going to write it here. So z1 by z2 is equal to, what is it? 6 plus 2 iota by 2 minus iota into, on conjugating it, I'm going to get 2 plus iota by 2 plus iota, right? So this is the step, okay? So, okay, till here, like it's clear to you? Okay, now we have this multiplication case. So 6 plus 2 iota into 2 plus iota. So let's do it right here. And, so I'll just, put them in brackets. That would be more better for us to solve it fastly and all these things. Okay, so the multiplication, I'll do it here. So what is it? 6 plus 2 iota into 2 plus iota. Okay, so what do we have here is 6 plus 2. 6 2s are, 6 into 2, 12. 12, okay, and 12, right? Then the 6 with I, as it's imaginary, so we'll be not writing it for now, so we'll just write it, just after, solving this part. Just after solving the real part, and then the imaginary part will come. So 2i with I. So this I is, actually, what's I is equal to? Root negative 1, right? We all know this. Root I is equal to root negative 1. But, it's a little different in this case. So how are we going to solve it? So I'll just simply say this, that, so on just simply, doing this, so what I'm going to get. So this 2 iota in iota I have here is, what is it? So how I'm going to say it. So 2 iota and iota. So for now, like if I'm gonna just ignore this part, but we shouldn't be ignoring this part because that's actually the part of that, right? It is, of course it is. So I'm gonna write at the place of iota, I'm gonna write negative 1, okay? Negative 1, and it's gonna be square, okay? It's gonna be square. Okay, so this might be easy for us to solve it directly, and what I'm gonna write is, how about changing this value? How about changing this value? What I'm saying is, how about changing this 2 iota to 3 iota? Okay, how about changing this? So, because it will become more interesting for us. So let me change the question a little bit. So, at the place of 2 iota, I'm going to put 3 iota. Okay? This is interesting. Okay, it's going to be interesting. No, the previous one is also interesting, but this might be, more better for us to understand as we're just, solving a question. This is our first question we'll be doing. So Z1, what is it? 6 plus 3 iota upon or by 2 minus iota. Okay, this is what we're having, right? Yeah. So the next thing that what I'm going to write is, what do we have? What do we have in Z1 by Z2? So I'm just directly going to write it like this way, okay? So it's going to be 6 plus 3 iota into, oh, I'm just going to rub it from this duster. Yeah, I'll just clean this from this duster and let's move on. Okay, so what is it? So it is, in bracket, what do we have? 6 plus 3 iota into 1 by 2 minus iota. Okay, this is what we have. If I'm going to write this, just like this way. Like, instead of using rationalization, but I will use rationalization too. So don't worry. So 6 plus 3 iota into 1 by 2 minus iota is what we are having right here. Okay, so I'm going to write it in another way. So at the place of these iotas, I'm going to put, what I'm going to put? It's really simple. I'm actually going to put, negative 1. Negative 1 square, right? Yeah. So, this will be exactly same. This will be exactly same as it is. So 6 plus 3 iota. The thing that will happen is going to be, it will happen right here. Okay, so it's going to be 6 plus 3 iota. And here we're having 1. 1 and so, okay, I'll do this multiplication right here, okay? Just wait a second. Yeah, so, oops. Let me check the camera, like, is it on focus? It might be like, because I'm not sure, it might be, a little blurry or a little blur. Okay, so it's absolutely clear, so let's continue. Okay, so it's absolutely clear as I've already said. So let's continue. So 6 plus 3 iota into 1 by 2 minus iota. Okay, this is clear. So actually, how did I just wrote this thing, write this thing? So what we used was this. Z1 by Z2 is equal to Z1 is to 1 by Z2. So this is what I'm using right here. Okay, so no need to get confused. It's just in another way to find it. So as it's equal to this thing, right? So I can of course write it. So let's solve it. Okay, so it is 6 plus 3 iota. Oh, I'm going to write it here. So 6 plus 3 iota we have here. And this is going to be, what is it going to be? Okay, it's going to be in a bracket, okay? So it's going to be in brackets, and as we're having value here too, so we have denominator here too, and what is it going to be? For now, let's just, talk about this thing. So we have this 1 by 2 minus iota, which is going to be, just no need to get confused, it's really easy. So what do we have is 2 minus iota. So 2 by 2 plus negative 1 square into, it's not going to be into, of course it's not going to be into. It's going to be plus iota, negative, then negative 1. So iota minus negative 1, I can say this, okay? So, and the denominator is going to be exactly same, just like this way, okay? Yeah, so it's going to be 2 plus negative 1 square, okay? Right? So it's absolutely really easy, nothing to get confused here. And I hope every step is clear to you. Okay, so from this step, like everything has become clear to us. So it's really easy now. So what is it going to be? 6 plus 3 iota. And this 2 plus iota minus negative 1. So this case, what are we going to get? So we're gonna get, let me tell you, it's actually gonna be, really easy. So it is gonna be 2 by 5. 2 by 5, okay? But yeah, 2 is with iota. Remember, we have this iota, okay? So 2 plus iota by 5, okay? So now it has become really easy for us, but one thing, now we have this multiplication case, so let's do it here. So what do we have is 6 plus 3 iota and 2 plus iota, okay? So 6 plus 3 iota in this 2 plus iota, okay? So 6 with 2 will be 12. 6 with, so 3 with 3 with I, what is it going to be? What is it going to be? No need to get confused. It's going to be, the value is going to be negative and we'll get 3, okay? We'll get 3. So minus 3, okay? So now this I plus I, and in bracket, we're going to have 6 plus, plus iota. How about writing it again? Okay, there's no problem in writing it again, so this will be clear to us. So what is it? It's going to be 12 minus 3 plus iota 6 plus 6. Okay, so 6 plus 6 is, what do we have? 6 with I. What is it going to be? 6. And this 3i with I, what is it going to be? Oh, we have already written, so what we have is 3i, this 2. 3 2s are 6. Right? So there's nothing to get confused. So as we have, written this, so this is going to be our value. So I'm going to just write it here. So what is it going to be? What is it going to be? So it's going to be 12 minus 3 plus iota 6 plus 6 upon 5. Okay, so this is going to be our final step, okay? And so I can write this thing as like this way. Yeah, so I'm going to write this 1 by 5 into 12 minus 3 plus iota 6 plus 6. Okay? Is it going to be right? Of course it's going to be right. So, and in the final step, by just solving this, we're gonna get our final solution. So it's gonna be 1 by 5 into 12 minus 3 will be, what is it going to be? 9, of course, as this 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so no need to get confused. 10 11 12. Yeah, of course we're gonna have 9 here. So 9, 12 minus 3 will be 9, plus 6 plus 6 will be 12, and what's left? Iota. So we have our final solution, and this is our answer after solving it. So, on rationalizing 2, we'll get the same answer. Noted, okay? We'll get the same answer, this same exact answer, on rationalization 2. On, rationalizing. So, but whatever, actually, so we have just find out our solution, and the step was really clear to us. So I hope there's no doubt here. So like everything was clear to us, and so that's all for today. And in the next video, we'll be, I don't know, maybe we'll be solving some questions, or we'll discuss any new topic, or I don't know. Okay, so I don't know like what we'll be doing in the next video, but whatever we'll do is gonna be fun, a lot of fun, like we did today too. So thanks for watching and have a great day.